Artur Beterbiev is one of the fiercest punchers in boxing today. He's a unified light heavyweight world champion with a 100% knockout ratio. King Artur is a dominant champion, but there's much more to his style than just brute force. So let's take a closer look at Beterbiev's effective aggression by studying one of his most significant victories, his 10th round TKO win against Alexander Gvozdyk to unify the light heavyweight titles.
Artur Beterbiev is the unified light heavyweight champion of the world!
We'll pay close attention to three things: his ability to cut off the ring, his success on the outside, and his spectacularly timed right hand. Now, Gvozdyk had a 2.5-inch advantage in both height and reach, so Beterbiev's plan was to close the distance, while Gvozdyk believed he could win the fight by boxing on the outside. Here we see that Beterbiev is constantly making sure that his front foot is facing his opponent's chest. This allows him to get into position to land his offense. At the beginning, his front foot puts him just outside of punching range, but as the pressure increases, he'll get close enough to land punches. Now, obviously, your opponent isn't just going to stand there and let you get close. He's going to do two things. He's going to move around the ring, and he's going to throw punches. To counteract this movement, you have to take lateral steps, which means taking steps to the right or to the left instead of just running straight at your opponent. The object is to limit the space in which your opponent can move while constantly putting yourself in position to land punches. Here we can see Gvozdyk trying to step to his right to avoid standing in front of Beterbiev. Gvozdyk wants to step to his right as much as possible as he attempts to position himself closer to the center of the ring, where he'll have more space to react and defend. Instead, Beterbiev takes a short step to his left to cut that exit off and force Gvozdyk to stand right in front of him. It's a dynamic that takes place over and over throughout the fight. Again, we see Beterbiev taking lateral steps, first to his right, and then to his left. Eventually, Gvozdyk runs out of space and needs to step around Beterbiev to find the center of the ring and avoid offense. Using these lateral steps, Beterbiev is able to find him before the end of the second round, where he begins to land right uppercuts and overhand rights.
And Beterbiev is mauling right now. Right uppercut comes in from Beterbiev.
Now, it's no secret that Beterbiev isn't purely a defensive fighter. As a result, his defense consists mostly in blocking or parrying punches with his gloves or arms, and sometimes taking the steam off of them by taking a few short steps backward or by circling to his right. Here we see Beterbiev blocking punches with his gloves and with his arms while taking a short step back. It's a cardinal rule in boxing that you shouldn't pull or step straight back, so Beterbiev is more successful at evading punches when his guard is tight and when he steps around. His high guard is even more effective in the later rounds as he's able to stand in front of a worn-down Gvozdyk without stepping as far back as he did earlier. Giving up less territory when Gvozdyk punches allows Beterbiev to sit down on his shots and hurt him. Timing is an important element of Beterbiev's offense, and you can tell when he's looking to land his right hand because he'll step outside of range, begin feinting, and then suddenly launch it either to the head, or in this case, the body. Here you can see him staying outside of range again. He isn't trying to get as close as he does in other parts of the fight. Instead, he's just outside of Gvozdyk's punching distance, and he begins flicking his jab and leaning back before timing a 1-2. And even though he landed the punch, he keeps his distance with his eyes wide open, taking advantage of Gvozdyk's desperation to counter him in order to connect another right hand. Remarkable for someone with less reach and height. And that right hand of his is indeed a game changer in the fight, but it wouldn't be successful without Beterbiev's control of distance, his feints, and his timing. Here we see Beterbiev coming forward but staying just outside of range. This allows him to be less predictable than just plodding forward. He then makes a quick foot feint before launching the right hand to the body, which hurts Gvozdyk. Part of the success is due to the offensive variation of his right hand, which makes it hard for Gvozdyk to predict where the right hand is going to be thrown, because sometimes he'll throw it to the head, and sometimes he'll throw it to the body. And it's the straight right hands to the body that initiate some of his biggest flurries in the fight. Here we see Beterbiev land a right hand to the solar plexus, a vulnerable spot to land a punch. Beterbiev senses he is hurt and lands a left uppercut followed by a right hook. Here Beterbiev times another right hand, but this time to the chin. He sees that Gvozdyk has his left hand low and anticipates that he will block with a high guard. So he times a looping right hand around his gloves. Gvozdyk is immediately hurt as the right hand initiates the first of 3 knockdowns that eventually end the fight.
Trying to come over the top with the right hand. He goes down again. That's it. It's over.
The right hand is indeed Beterbiev's most important asset, but it's important to note that his control of distance, his timing, and feints are essential to landing these right-hand bombs. And so we see that Beterbiev didn't become a unified champion by merely plodding forward and eliminating everything in sight. He has a set of skills that he picked up through a decorated amateur career and which he continues to develop in the pro ranks.
A dominating 10th round by Beterbiev.